wintertime oyster farming is pretty solitary. The advantages of harvesting oysters in the wintertime is more or less along the lines of having a market share in the year-round production of oysters. You know, it's hard fishing in the wild, there's no doubt about it, and those guys command a lot of respect for doing what they do. You know, but there's also something to be said about the ingenuity and ambition of shellfish farmers. 40 or 50 years ago, there wasn't any aquaculture gear that was being manufactured specifically for shellfish farming in the United States. In the last 20, 30 years, because the industry has expanded, there's been more of a demand for those products. Bags, upwelling systems, barges, racks, all kinds of equipment that they can sell you now to help you farm your oysters. A lot of the components for the gear are bought individually, and you assemble them, you build your gear yourself. A lot of experimentation is involved in developing gear because every site is unique and different. There can be a lot of benefits with experimenting with your gear, and specifically for Chatham Shellfish Company, we've experimented a lot in the last 10, 15 years. We found things that work, we find things that don't work. But there's a large degree of secrecy still in this business, and you just keep things to yourself, and you make people guess what you're doing. And loose lips sink the ship. On a delivery day, when you have a lot of oysters, it's usually a pretty busy day. You'd have to get up pretty early and get your act together and get on the tide, dig what you can. Then you got to call out what you dig up. It entails being able to differentiate live oysters from marketable oysters, from dead oysters. Quahogs go in one box. Really big jumbo oysters go in another one. Marketable stuff in another one. Dead stuff that needs to go back in the water. So you could have five different sizes you got to call through. It can be challenging, but it's a lot of fun just to sit there and try to see how fast you can go doing it well. A lot of private individuals buy them, but I'd say the majority of people who eat oysters are buying them at restaurants.
I've never tried to get anybody to try an oyster because, quite frankly, it's like moving a parked car. I think people think that they're gooey. Mm-hmm. You know, they see the liquor in there and they think that it's some type of slime, but it's not.
They want a processed food rather than a raw food.
Well, exactly right.
Yeah.
They don't want to know where things came from.
Right. And these are the epitome of where they came from. You know, they're nothing but
what they are.
The seawater and the algae and the health of the ecosystem.
Each individual palate likes a certain thing, and you get a different taste with each individual oyster. And so a Wellfleet oyster is different than a Chatham oyster, and Dennis oyster a little bit more briny. You know, each takes on a different characteristic.
It's regional as jazz.
Yeah, that's really true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So do you find they taste better in the winter?
And I think they taste pretty good all year long, but there is something about eating them in the summer.
This is maybe distasteful to people that don't like them to begin with, but in the summertime, their main goal in life is reproduction. So when you eat an oyster in the summer, you're getting a large part of it is just gonad, to be quite frank. What do you think about that whole aphrodisiac claim?
I knew that was the first word you were going to. I mean, physiologically, I don't know. I think really anytime you do anything with your hands, I mean, I imagine even gardening you could claim has some type of connection.
It's sort of visceral, and you're eating
and
like a raw
intimate,
thing.
it's tactile.
Yeah.
Exactly.
that zinc is really good for you.
And it's sort of like, yeah.
We all know what she is.
Yes, yes.
Dating a girl, she doesn't like oysters. Is it over?
No, I'll let that slide.
Really?
Yeah, I will. I've dated vegetarians, you know, that's... How about you? Is that a deal breaker?
Oh,
Really?
it's all over.
Wow.
Yeah.
My wife likes what I do a lot now. She used to not always feel like this was going to be the best place for, you know, us to live and whatnot. And after she got to know, you know, the ambition and desire I had for this business and really what I can produce, then she started to realize that it's not all that bad.
There are a lot of references to oysters in literature. The world is your oyster. That's a great, a great line. And I think there's a Hemingway quote also. I think you said you knew what it was.
Yeah, I brought it actually.
You brought it, awesome.
Yeah. It's from A Movable Feast, and it's about the meals that he ate and, you know, the booze that he drank, being Hemingway. Mm-hmm. So, as I ate the oysters with their strong taste of the sea and their faint metallic taste that the cold white wine washed away, leaving only the sea taste and the succulent texture, and as I drank their cold liquid from each shell and washed it down with the crisp taste of the white wine, I lost the empty feeling and began to be happy and to make plans.